As developers, working on our own personal projects can be fun, but it's easy to go overboard with the scope. We just keep adding stuff, and suddenly we are wasting our precious time in a feature that synchronizes our toaster with our newsletter subscription button, and the project is never actually released. That's why, even though this is a fairly small project, I wanted to make the exercise of planning it properly. And if that doesn't work, I can always count on my project manager to make sure I'm following the plan. I usually use digital tools like GitHub Project for the planning, but this time I thought it could be fun to use actual post-its. So here's the plan. We already have the proof of concept covered, so that gave us a better idea of what we need to do. The first version is about making a solid library with a flexible API and good documentation. I'm also adding unit tests in there to make it safer to maintain in the future, and so it's most trustworthy to potential users. Following the example of many open source libraries out there, I'm also adding continuous integration so we can run the tests in a pipeline and make sure everything is working correctly after a change is merged. And we also need to publish it to NPM. So let's get started. For now, all I'm doing is to create a new empty project and move our proof of concept there. I also added a quick test case to try and iterate quickly. You might remember from the last video that I had an issue with the ANSI scapegoats. So my code is calculating where to split the string based on the size of the scrollable area. That works if you are splitting plain text, but terminal applications normally use ANSI scapegoats to add format. ANSI scapegoats are a standard that controls the styling and formatting in our terminals, and they look like this. So as you can see, they are a part of the string, but they are not printed explicitly in the terminal, so that presents two problems. One, the string ends up being longer than expected, and two, if you split through the codes, you may break the format, which causes the issue we saw in my last video. After some research, I found the perfect solution. There's a package called wrap_ANSI that takes care of both problems. This package is designed to correctly split strings that include ANSI scapegoats, and it takes care of word wrapping, which is another feature we were missing. We just need to install it, then replace our split logic with it, and that should be it. So luckily I'm familiar with this issue. My project uses Common.js modules and wrap_ANSI supports ECMAScript modules only. I could migrate to ESM, but right now I wanted to focus on the matter at hand, so I just decided to use an older version of wrap_ANSI that targeted Common.js. Of course, the older version of wrap_ANSI didn't include built-in types definitions, so I had to add them myself. The next thing on the list is to improve the API and make our library easier to use and configure. I decided to go with a combination of a config object and a builder pattern, so devs can choose what works best for them. So the API is done. You can create a new scrollable area by using the constructor and passing a configuration object, or you can use the builder methods, or you can use both at the same time. I also set default values considering what I think will be the most common use cases, so you can use the low config version if it fits your case. I stole this little trick from another library to generate a new scrollable instance with the default export. So now you can instantiate it like this instead of using the new keyword. So wrapping up, we managed to create a plan for the whole project. We fixed the issue with the ANSI scapegoats, which was really bothering me. And now we have a proper API, so not bad. Next week we are going to move on to unit tests and continuous integration, so that's gonna be fun. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying the process so far, and until next week, keep coding and have fun.